Hey everyone, RedyTAY here again with another attempt at a solo Pokemon challenge. Farfetch'd was a very surprising, hard-hitting Pokemon. I really wasn't expecting it to be as easy as it ultimately ended up being. This time, I'm going to do a run where I seriously have no idea how the challenge is going to go. We're going back to Generation 3 with what is probably my first run that centers around an interesting gimmick more than the Pokemon itself. Today we are seeing how far we can get with trying to beat Pokemon Ruby with a single Kecleon. Kecleon is a normal type, for now. The gimmick with Kecleon is its ability to color change. Because of this ability, when Kecleon is hit with an attack, its type will change to the type of the attack it was hit with. So if Kecleon is hit with a ghost type move, then instead of being 2 times weak to fighting like a normal type, it will be immune, and now it will be double susceptible to dark. Then it will take massive damage from the dark move, become a dark type, and then be back to weak to fighting moves again. So yeah, I'm starting this intro with Kecleon's typical type effectiveness table, but I really should be showing the Gen 3 type matchup table instead. I'm not sure how well I'll be able to provide commentary throughout these battles when it comes to Kecleon's type changing. I'll do my best to keep you, the viewer, up to date with Kecleon's current type, but if I don't, I hope you guys will be able to catch the text from the game that states Kecleon's new type. If you are new to Gen 3, or just Pokemon games in general, this might be a difficult one to follow. I'm also going to try to see if there's any way I can fit the Gen 3 type matchup table on the screen throughout the game. It's going to be kind of hard because I like having the game footage take up as much screen as possible, but we will see how it goes. Moving on from type, stat-wise we're doing kind of good. The base stat total is much better than the last few runs I've previously done. I'm real thankful for that special defense, and the attack will probably be a blessing as well. Moveset is trying to be a mixed bag, but really there isn't much here, and the attacks really aren't that hard hitting. The real saving grace in this run is probably going to be this TM move list. Lots of diversity, type coverage, and powerful moves. I don't want to make this a heavy TM use run, but really it's going to be hard to say no to some of these options. This is shaping up to be a long intro, so let's get going on the rules so we can get this run started. Basic rules first, I can only use Kecleon throughout the whole game. HM Pokemon can be used so I can still get around, however. No cheats or hacks can be used to advance, and I'm going to be following the trend where no items can be used in the battles except for held items given to Kecleon before the battle. I'm real curious with this run. I'm not going too deep into research before every battle, but I'm not going in completely blind in who we are facing and what sorts of moves they'll most likely have. We don't really have a good plan against the first gym, maybe even the second, but after that I don't really know what else to expect. It's a big fat question mark, and I'm really excited about that. So let's get started. We start this run like other Generation 3 Helen runs by getting situated into our new house at home and then heading out to save Professor Birch from the pesky level 2 Kecleon. I used the Pokemon randomizer to switch Trico with Kecleon so that our rival will be using Torchic. There really isn't a clear-cut answer here on who our rival should use, but Torchic does evolve into Blaziken and fighting moves are super effective against Kecleon, at least in the first turn. Anyway, one scratch is all that is needed to take down Kecleon, and from there we are sent to find a rival and battle them. But before that, let's take a look at our stats. We have a naive nature, which means we'll have an improved speed stat and a decreased special defense stat. That's okay with me. Special defense is probably Kecleon's best stat anyway, and I'll probably need the speed later on in these battles. Stat-wise, we are looking how I was expecting at the start of the game. Nothing terrible, and our special defense is starting off as our best stat, followed by attack. Move-wise, this is really nice for a level 5 Pokemon. I don't know if I've ever had a Pokemon at this level already having a full moveset. I mean, don't get me wrong, these moves are not amazing, but they give options. And even though they are weak ghost moves, it is still nice to have them this early in the game. I decided to name Kecleon Seabaker, after his colorful and changing personality. We soon get to our rival and have our first battle with them. It starts off great with us starting first with a lick that paralyzes Torchic. From there we just spam Scratch, while Torchic just uses Growl, Scratch, or they're just too paralyzed to move. We soon win and head back home to really start our journey.
So while I start battling every trainer we come across and possibly grind a little on the side, let's swing back to talking about Kecleon's ability, Color Change.
This ability will cause Kecleon to change its type to the type of the last move that hits it. I don't have all these type matchups memorized in my head, but I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on them. I mean, chances are if you were watching this, you at least know the whole grass, fire, water example. but I also know that you as a viewer probably have a mixed experience with Pokemon type matchups. That being said, I did take a look and thought it would be worth pointing out that most types are weak against themselves offensively, which can be very advantageous considering that we have several major battles in this game that center around us facing a trainer specializing in a specific type. There are only two types that are super effective against themselves, that being Ghost and Dragon, which will probably make the Elite Four really interesting now that I think about it. The types that have no effect on themselves are Normal, Fighting, Flying, Ground, Bug, and Rock. Noticing a problem here? Yeah, two of the types I just listed are the first two gyms we encounter in this game. I mean, technically yes, we could skip the second gym for later, but I still want to get it taken care of early. So that being said, we won't really have any resistance in these battles, which is going to be troublesome for the Rock Gym considering we don't really have any strong moves against them, which is why I'm grinding at the moment. We soon get to Rustboro, and there are a few takeaways from the journey so far. One being Seabaker's leveling faster than I thought he would, so that's nice. The other is his ability hasn't shown up yet so far in the game. I mean, I know we fight a lot of early level Pokemon with mainly normal moves, but I was sure we would see a type change by now. Anyway, we were already at a good level, so let's see how facing Roxanne goes. We start our first gym battle with two Feint attacks, dodge a Rock Tomb, and then get hit with another one, leading to a speed drop. Feint attack is hitting rather hard, and we were about to take Geodude out, but Roxanne heals it up with a potion. It's not at full health, but our Scratch really isn't doing a lot of damage either. Geodude does a defense curl, and we take it back down to red health with another Feint attack. We are given it a second attempt to finish it off when Roxanne uses another potion. Despite the defense curl, two more Feint attacks knocks it out. Nosepass is faster than us and starts the battle with two Hardens. We start this portion of the battle with two Licks, with the second one paralyzing Nosepass. We then spend the rest of the battle spamming Feint attack while Nosepass tries to take us down with Rock Tomb to no avail. That went really well for first try. It helps not having only basic normal moves to attack this early in the game. Feint attack is a blessing for sure. We'll do that part of the storyline that deals with us getting Devon goods so we can go to Dewford and then take on Brawley. Also, remember when I said I was kind of worried about battling Brawley earlier in the video? Well, on our way to battle the Team Magma Grunt for the Devon goods, Seabaker learned Psybeam, so I think we're going to be good here. I completely forgot that was on his learned moveset. Yeah, I was completely right in thinking Psybeam was enough to get by. Two Psybeams was all we needed to take down Machop, but not before he almost takes half of our health out with a Karate Chop. But hey, now we're fighting type, so that move won't be super effective for the rest of the battle. Like I said, he soon went down, and Makihita is out and quickly goes down to red health from a Psybeam. It wastes a turn with Bulk Up, and then Brawley wastes several more turns by giving Makihita back-to-back super potions, so we waste turns eventually getting Makihita to faint from Psybeam. Well, anyway, we have the second gym badge, onwards to Slateport. We get through battling Team Magma at Slateport, hand off the Devon goods, and start heading north to face our rival. While battling one of the grunts, we had a moment when our special defense saved us from our ability. The Zubat changed us to a bug type due to it attacking us with Leech Life. Once we took that out, the grunt sent out Numel, which hit us with Ember. Sure, that's a weak fire move, but we still were extra susceptible to it in that moment. See, this is what I'm really curious about as this fight progresses. How often will a type change throughout a battle, and how often will it give us an advantage or ruin our chances of winning? I was hoping to see this question in action with our next rival fight. Considering she is a water, grass, and fire type, it could have been an interesting battle due to her choice of moves and the order she sends out her Pokemon. But no. They only use normal moves and double kick, which is a fighting move, so no special type attacks were used by our opponent, and because of that, it was kind of a boring battle. I mean, we almost lost, but I don't feel like there is much to report here. We take out Wilma with Psybeams and Scratch, while it only hits us with Growl. A Psybeam from us and a double kick from Combuskin takes us both to yellow health, and one more Psybeam from us ends up part of the exchange. With Shroomish last out, our Scratch isn't doing much damage, and we soon get paralyzed from Stun Spore. Seabaker then switches over to spamming Feint attack while Shroomish goes back and forth using Mega Drain and Tackle, changing our typing. We soon take out Shroomish and continue heading towards Maulville City. So now we're in Maulville, and while I'm facing the trainers in Electric Gym, I'm trying to figure out the game plan to win against Watson. Electric types aren't really scary against Kecleon per se. It's the Magnemite and Magneton that is going to be a problem. They are part steel, and because of that, none of our current moves are real effective against them. I mean, one of the trainers in the gym also had a Magnemite, and that thing really kicked our butt. We still came out on top, but it wasn't pretty. Oh well, we are now in front of Watson. Let's see where we are right now. Wow, this is absolutely terrible. We get paralyzed from Thunder Wave, confused by Supersonic, and outside of Sonic Boom, we get absolutely stalled by these two status effects to the point where we go down fairly quickly. Okay, yeah, we need to come up with a better plan. So none of our learned moveset is offering a solution. We could still teach Seabaker Rock Smash like we did in my Meta-type challenge, but let's see if we can do something different so we aren't sounding like broken record here. Dig would have been a great move, but we can't reach it at this point of the game yet. Okay, I guess we're going to go get Rock Smash. So, some good news and bad news. Good news, we get past the Magnemite without getting paralyzed, partly because of Rock Smash and the defense drops from it. And the fact it doesn't bother trying to paralyze or confuse us. The bad news is, we got stopped by Voltorb. That was next up. So I guess we're going to have to grind some. We really needed some more HP. I know that sounds kind of stupid, like, well duh, you always need HP to win battles. But in these last few battles, Magnemite and Voltorb were really favoring Sonic Boom. Which means no matter how much I raise Seabaker's defense in this grind session, our opponent's Sonic Boom will always deal 20 damage to us. So we're going to have to grind and see how far we get from there. Battling here isn't bad, but we can definitely see just how bad Rock Smash is. We end up battling a Meryl that is 13 levels lower than us, and it still doesn't even take it to yellow health. Anyway, we get to level 32, and I decide to give Watson a try. First to the back went really well, with us one-shotting Magnemite with a Rock Smash. Taking a little damage from Voltorb's self-destruct, but Magneton totally shuts us down. Okay, maybe give Seabaker a Cherry Berry to counteract the paralysis? Yeah, that helps, but it's still a bust. I give this many attempts, but we never pull off the win. We just can't last long enough to outlast Magneton. That, and we're really feeling how lackluster Rock Smash is when it's not a stab move compared to when Meta-type used it. Man, I wish Seabaker could change to a fighting type at some point of this match. Well, I don't have much of a choice, we need to get back to grinding. Let's see how we do at level 35. Seabaker's first Rock Smash, right out the gate, took Magnemite to yellow health and caused a defense drop, so that's a good start. We shrug off the paralysis we get from Magnemite's Thunder Wave with a Cherry Berry, and then take it out with another Rock Smash. Voltorb is now out but immediately self-destructs, so we are quickly on to Watson's last Pokemon, Magneton. I make the risky decision to use Lick as the first move, and it does pay off. Yeah, we don't do a lot of damage, but Magneton is now paralyzed. We soon also get paralyzed from Thunder Wave, so it's time to see who has the worst paralysis luck. Well, there's actually no paralysis in this battle because we hit Magneton with a Rock Smash, dodged Supersonic, and then land a critical hit Rock Smash for the win. Well, that was a nice attempt. Sure, there was some luck there, but the grinding was needed for us to even hit hard enough to come out on top. Back to completing the storyline. We quickly get to Meteor Falls and then Mount Chimney to take on Maxie and help with the whole Team Aqua versus Team Magma confrontation. First off for Maxie's Mightyena, which of course has Intimidate, so our attack is lowered for the rest of the fight. And you can really tell too, considering our super effective Rock Smash doesn't even look like it did a quarter amount's worth of damage here. We miss our next Rock Smash due to Mightyena using the Sand Attack that turned previously, and then it lands a critical hit Bite. We were able to land our next Rock Smash though, and then take a little damage from Bite since we're now Dark type. We land on the Rock Smash, which ends up being a critical hit, taking out Mightyena. Golbat is next and changes us to a flying type with Wing Attack. Our Side Beam takes it down to red health. I switched to having Seabaker's Fan Attack to finish off Golbat, but Maxie uses Super Potion to take it back to green health. Fan Attack brings Golbat back to yellow health, and we fall to half health from another Wing Attack. But that's okay, because another Fan Attack causes Golbat to faint. We paralyze Camerupt with Lick as soon as it comes out. It spams Focus Energy while we spam Side Beam, and it soon goes down. I'm so thankful that was a single attempt battle there. I want to get going on a lot of these gym badges today and recording, and that's not a battle I want to spend a lot of time on. Speaking of gym battles, Flannery. Yeah, it's Watson all over again. We handle both Slugmas rather easily, but Torkoal is just like Magneton. It just outlasts us. It can paralyze us from Body Slam and immobilize us with Attract. I spent the first few attempts trying to get Torkoal paralyzed with Lick, but that quickly turned into a waste of time since 1, it never took, And 2, we took a lot of damage and crude status conditions during those turns. When I finally decided that we should just hit Tentacool hard when it came out, I came across the discovery that Psybeam doesn't even hit it that hard. We don't have a lot of choices at the moment when it comes to TM options. The only thing I can think to do is to grind, and if worst comes to worst, we will grind to level 49 where Seabaker will learn Ancient Power. If we can't beat Flannery with a level 49 Kecleon that knows Ancient Power, then I don't deserve 2 Pokemon challenges. To take a break from grinding, I want to see how we look against Flannery at level 45. The first Slugma falls to low red health from Faint Attack. We take some damage from Overheat and change to a Fire type. Flannery heals Slugma with a Hyper Potion, so we're back to square one.
Our Lick actually does a lot of damage, and our next Faint Attack takes it out.
The next Slugma goes down to a single Faint Attack, so I'll take it. To keep the good luck rolling, the first Faint Attack against Tentacool was a critical hit, taking it to red health. It hits Seabaker with a Body Slam, so we are now back to normal type. Of course, Flannery also heals Tentacool to full health with a Hyper Potion. I was expecting that. What I wasn't expecting was how much less damage our next Faint Attack would deal. The next Faint Attack did about the same amount of damage, and then we get hit by a dreaded Attract from Tentacool.
We then waste several turns with Seabaker being immobilized and taking several rounds of Flail.
We are soon down to 16 health, and with a stroke of luck, we are not immobilized by Attract for a turn and are able to land one more Faint Attack for the final blow, giving us the win and our 4th gym badge. I will take that win, but jeez, these battles have been frustrating lately. Is it just me, or am I having some horrible status condition luck in this run? Luckily, status conditions aren't really a big aspect when it comes to the normal gym. This badge attempt should be easier than the other 2, but then again, my only plan right now is to spam Rock Smash, and I know this isn't exciting or guaranteeing an easy win. It is still a weak move, and it still won't be a stab in this situation.
I am really just hoping our level lead will carry us through the battle.
Before jumping into battling Norman, I noticed that our Zigzagoon had another item from his pickup ability, and it turned out to be a King's Rock, which is a held item that gives you a 10% chance of flinching the opponent when you attack. This is a major find considering there's only a 1% probability that it'd pop up from the pickup ability. So I'm obviously going to give this to Seabaker because some lucky flinching would be ideal against Norman's Slacking. First off for Norman is his first Slacking. Rock Smash might be super effective, but is only dealing a quarter amount of damage to it. It responds with a Yawn. We return with another Rock Smash and soon fall asleep while Slacking is still in green health. Seabaker stays asleep for several turns and takes damage during this period from some facades. Once Seabaker wakes up, we switch using Psybeam, which lands as a critical hit knockout. Second Psyking is now out, and it wastes time tightening its focus and loafing around, so we soon take it out with Psybeams and Faint Attack without taking any damage. Last out is Vigoroth, and our Psybeams deal a decent amount of damage. We take a Facade and take Vigoroth to red health with another Psybeam. Vigoroth's Slash takes us to 11 health. Norman then heals Vigoroth to full health with a Hyper Potion. Our next Psybeam takes Vigoroth to half health, and since we get another chance to attack right away, I thought we'd be able to pull off a victory. But unfortunately, our next Psybeam still leaves Vigoroth with a sliver, and its responding Slash takes us out. Okay, message loud and clear. Despite Rock Smash being effective against Norman's Pokemon, we have much harder hitting moves at our disposal. Which I knew that from the beginning, but I just had the blinders on and was so focused on having an advantage with the super effective move. I think we can still pull off a win where we currently are, so let's give this another go. Starting off with Psybeam right out of the gate with the first Psyking.
It takes out about a third of its health and confuses it.
It hurts itself in its confusion, and we soon take it to red health with a Psybeam. Norman heals Psyking back to full health with a Hyper Potion, but we were able to get it back to yellow with a pair of Psybeams. One more Psybeam leaves it with a sliver, and thanks to being confused, it hurts itself in its confusion to knock it out. The second Psyking does a fair amount of damage with a Facade while we switch to hitting with Faint Attack. We then spam some Psybeams to take it down. Vigoroth is last out, and we get it to almost half health with Psybeam. It does take Seabaker to yellow health though with Slash. Another Psybeam takes it to red health. We get hit from another Slash. Norman of course uses another Hyper Potion to heal up. 2 Faint Attacks get Vigoroth back to where it was before the Hyper Potion, and we soon get taken to red health from the Facade. All it takes is one more Faint Attack to win. That's much better. Let's get back to traveling. So my main goal as I head to the Weather Institute is to get to level 49 so Seabaker can learn Ancient Power. This should make quick work of the upcoming flying gym. Team Magma didn't put up much of a fight and Seabaker soon learns Ancient Power. Before getting to Fort Tree City, we have to face our rival in another battle. First out, just like last time, is Wilmer. Our Psybeam deals the perfect amount of damage with keeping Wilmer in yellow health, but just in range for another attack to take it out. Its Water Pulse doesn't hit that hard and it doesn't confuse us. It soon goes down to Fan Attack. We stick with that move for Shroomish when it comes out. Glad we did, considering it lands as a critical one-shot. Last out for our rival is Combuskin, but just like Shroomish, it goes down with just one move. This time it was Psybeam. Well, that was anticlimactic. Before we go on to face Wyona, we get to level 50, and here are our stats. Well, our special defense is still holding up despite our nature. I almost feel like our nature doesn't exist considering how bad our speed is trailing compared to the other stats. If this is what it looks like with that nature boost, then I don't even want to know what it would look like without one. Also, battling the hidden Kecleon to get the Devon Scope was a definite mirror match. Easy win though, considering we are 20 levels higher than it, and I made it a Psychic type in the first turn so I could easily take it out with a Feint Attack in the next. Yes, Steven, my battle style is intriguing. First attempt at battling Wyona. Basically, this battle deals with Seabaker taking out Wyona's first two Pokemon with Ancient Power and finding out it won't do a whole lot of damage with Skarmory, so we'll have to change strategies here. Its Aerial Ace changes Seabaker to Flying type, and our Feint Attack takes it down to the red. Skarmory hits us with a Sand Attack, which doesn't faze me considering Feint Attack won't be affected. Wyona then quickly heals Skarmory up with a Hyper Potion, and our next two Feint Attacks aren't really doing a lot of damage. But at least Skarmory is still sticking with Sand Attack instead of using a damaging move. We soon get Skarmory back to red health, but Wyona just heals it back up, again with Hyper Potion. Another couple of Feint Attacks get Skarmory to yellow health. The Skarmory is still favoring Sand Attack. Seabaker takes some damage from a Steel Wing, but another couple of Feint Attacks finally takes Skarmory out. Last out in this battle for Wyona is Altaria. It starts with a Dragon Dance and Earthquake while we miss our last two Ancient Powers that we had. I switched to having Seabaker use Psybeam. Thanks to the Dragon Dance Altaria has done, its Aerial Ace brings us down to 1 health, and our Psybeams have only been able to get Altaria to half health. The last one does confuse her, causing confusion damage and allowing us to stay alive for another turn in this battle. Of course, our following Psybeams miss, giving Altaria the chance to snap out of confusion to take us out with one more Aerial Ace. Well, that was going great until it wasn't. Here's hoping we have better luck in the second attempt. The battle starts off similar to last time. Swallow goes down to 1 Ancient Power. Pelipper is annoying at first, using Protect, causing us to waste an Ancient Power. Our next one hits, but it's still hanging on with a Sliver. I decide to hit it with a Feint Attack, but of course Wyona is going to use a Hyper Potion here. 2 Feint Attacks bring Pelipper down to a Sliver, and we in return get confused from a Supersonic. Seabaker then gets back-to-back turns of taking confusion damage, and then gets hit with an Aerial Ace, followed by another Protect, just for good measure. We soon snap out of confusion and finally get Pelipper out with a Feint Attack.
That is such an annoying bird.
I don't know why I decided to have Seabaker use Psybeam on Skarmory when it came out, since that is not an effective move against it. But I'm glad I did because it did confuse it. Finally our luck is turned and we spent 3 turns with Skarmory getting hit with Feint Attack and back-to-back confusion damage. The Skarmory fell into red health and got a Hyper Potion. We are sticking with Feint Attack and soon get Skarmory to low health, but not before taking some damage from a Steel Wing and an Aerial Ace. Soon Skarmory is back in the red thanks to another Feint Attack, and thanks to the King Rock, Skarmory flinches, which gives us another opportunity to take it out. We are now back to facing Altaria, and I think we're in a worse spot here than we were the last time, but luckily we still have some Ancient Powers at our disposal. And since we haven't had any accuracy debuffs, we land a one-shot on our first attempt. Finally, we can progress. I know that gym only took 2 attempts, but the Pelipper and Skarmory in that battle were very annoying to fight. Moving on from that fight, we now head to Little Cove. I know that Team Magma is going to Mount Pyre, but we are actually beating up from some of these trainer battles along the route to Lily Cove, so I decided to head there first and heal up. But since we are here, I guess we should already take on our next rival battle. Out first for her is Swallow. We miss our first Ancient Power thanks to her double team, but her next one hits and takes it out. The rest of her team goes down easily from spamming the Psybeam. Let's see how Team Magma does at Mount Pyre. Yeah, they go down easy, and then I have to waste my time going to Slateport to see them steal the submarine, just for me to hightail back to Lily Cove to take them out of their base. On the way back to Lily Cove, I caught a Magikarp, which will be essential for the next gym battle. If you don't understand why, you soon will.
Battling the rest of the Team Magma Grunts at their hideout is easy enough, and just like that, we are heading to Moss Deep and getting ready to battle Tate and Liza.
I am a little nervous since it is a double battle when we face them, hence the Magikarp as a placeholder. But I'm hoping this battle will go smoothly with us mainly spamming Feint Attack. And we did exactly that! Tate and Liza send out Solrock and Lunatone. The Seabaker starts the battle by taking Solrock to yellow health with a Feint Attack, and Lunatone misses its Hypnosis. Solrock hits Seabaker with a weak Psychic and changes our typing to Psychic. Magikarp does Splash, but that's not important. Another Feint Attack takes out Solrock, and Lunatone's second attempt at Hypnosis sticks, putting Seabaker to sleep. We waste a turn being asleep, but that is okay because Lunatone just uses a Calm Mind, and Magikarp is still alive and, well, splashing. Seabaker wakes up the next turn, and our Feint Attack hits, but not as hard as I would like. Magikarp soon goes down to a single Psychic, followed by Lunatone going down to a critical hit Feint Attack. Well, that went a whole lot smoother than my Meditite run. Now we just have one more gym badge left to get in the game, but unfortunately we have to deal with the climax of Team Magma part of the story, so let's get that over with. So we get Magikarp to evolve into Gyarados, so we can dive to meet Team Magma, and we really hit a snag fighting Maxie. I'm really surprised here because we do several attempts, and each time we just go down. The real deadly flaw we have in several of these runs is we take out Crobat pretty quickly, but not before we get hit with a wing attack. It does very little damage. So what's the problem? Well, after Crobat, Maxie will send out Camerupt, which will hit us with a super effective Rock Slide, since at this point Seabaker is a flying type, making him extra susceptible to Rock type moves. That and the Mighty Anna at the beginning is annoying with its Intimidate ability. And we can accrue some serious confusion damage from Swagger. At the moment, I don't really have much of a game plan besides mess with getting a Shell Bell.
But I really don't want to go back, get half the parts, wait for the tide to change, and then get the rest of the parts, just for us to get the bell and make it back here.
So I'm going to give this some more tries before going that route. Actually, never mind, the next attempt I did after riding all that led to the win. Of course, we were starting this battle with Mighty Anna and a decreased attack. We use Rock Smash as our opener, and it's not doing much despite being super effective. We soon get decreased speed thanks to a Scary Face and luckily dodge a Swagger. Another Rock Smash takes Mighty Anna to almost half health, and Maxie soon heals Mighty Anna to almost full health with a Hyper Potion. We dodge another Swagger and keep on using Rock Smash to whittle away at it. We are not catching a break here because we are getting no defense drops from Rock Smash. We eventually get hit by Swagger, but thanks to that we are able to avoid confusion damage and take Mighty Anna down to Sliver with another Rock Smash thanks to our increased attack. It was at that moment that Maxie thought Takedown was his best move to use here, which hardly did any damage to us, but also was enough of a recoil to take Mighty Anna out. Crobat then comes out, hits us with a wing attack, and we snap out of our confusion, leading us to one-shotting it with Ancient Power. We also got an all-around stat boost, which is nice. Last out for Maxie is Camerupt, and I try Psybeam, which takes it to half health. He responds with a super effective Rock Slide, because remember, we are a flying type now due to Crobat's wing attack. But it doesn't hit too hard surprisingly. Maxie heals Camerupt some with a super potion, but we just use 2 more Psybeams to take it out. Okay, I guess we just have to battle Groudon real quick and then take down Wallace for the last gym badge in the game. I actually took down Groudon in one attempt, but I forgot to hit the record button, so you're just going to take my word for it. But none of that matters because we are now moving through the water gym to meet Wallace. I don't really have much of a plan when it comes to this matchup, so let's see how winning it goes. Yeah, this is horrible. Wallace's Pokemon are tanky, and that is the problem. We don't have any hard-hitting moves at the moment to take down Wishcash real quick, and his Earthquake can be really dangerous. That and Seabaker's Ground type after surviving that move, which makes him really susceptible from any other water moves or ice moves that come down the pipe. The other thing that is really messing with us here are moves like Water Pulse. Confusion damage is rampant in some of these attempts, and it seriously makes or breaks parts of these battles. I mean, I even had an attempt where Loveless brings Seabaker to low red health before we took it out, and that's just embarrassing. So embarrassing that I guess we have no choice but to grind if we want to beat Wallace. So let's see how level 65 does in this battle. So after battling all the trainers I skipped on the sea routes and grinding some more on the ocean floor, we are still stalled here against Wallace. I'm not noticing much of a change when it comes to firepower, and Wishcast is still a brick wall menace in these attempts. In one battle we get as far as Melodic, only for it to attack Seabaker with a Twister, so that would be a Dragon type.
That set up the perfect finishing move, with Melodic's next move being a now super effective Ice Beam.
They say I can be pretty smart sometimes. So we're back to the drawing board. We can either grind some more, which I really don't want to do, go get a Shell Bell, so we can last longer in battle thanks to the healing, or we can make a change in the moveset. I'm voting for the last option here. So I head to Mauville and blow some money on coins at the game center so we can get the TM for Thunderbolt. At least I don't have to play the slots at all in this part of the game. And with that, this battle with Wallace is not much to report. Lovedis, Celia, and Sea King are all easily taken down by Thunderbolt. Wishcast is still annoying since we can't use Thunderbolt on it because it's a ground type, so we hit it with 2 side beams, taking it to red health. Wallace heals it with a Hyper Potion, and then we hit it with another 3 side beams to take it out for good.
Melodic was easier than that, with 1 Thunderbolt taking it to yellow health, and Wallace doesn't decide to heal Melodic, which gives us a chance to take it out with 1 more Thunderbolt.
Onward to the Elite Four. As I go through Victory Road, let's talk about how we are feeling jumping into the Elite Four. We are doing good in a lot of areas. I don't think Rock Smash will be our big move against Sydney, but it is an effective move that can cause a defense drop, so it could be very beneficial. Phoebe shouldn't be as bad as the Meta-type challenge thanks to Fan Attack, but the ability pressure might still make this fight challenging. Glacio will be somewhat manageable with us having a strong electric move against 3 of her part water Pokemon. Drake is going to be a challenge. We are going to have to be hard hitting with the non-flying types, and even Thunderbolt won't be super effective against Altaria and Salamence since they are still part Dragon. Steven will be a bigger challenge, but I will address that when we get to that, especially since we lose to Wally. Well, I was at a power point to Rock Smash and at half health. Actually, it took a couple of attempts to beat Wally. One because I didn't heal up before the battle, and on the other attempt, Ducati was actually really annoying with its infatuating ability and great sim luck. With the third attempt it went extremely smoothly. Well, maybe we were in worse shape than I thought. That Wally fight might have been a bit of a wake-up call. We were probably not ready for this portion of the game. So I go and get a Shell Ball ready and start planting Leopard Berries. The King's Rock has had a few useful moments, but it didn't fire enough for it to be truly useful. We need the extra healing, and this is the best option we have. We also don't really have much power point replenishing items, hence the Leopard Berries. I'm debating on working on Seabaker's moveset, but for the time being we'll see how this current moveset fares before going down that road. But anyway, we are waiting for some Leopard Berries to grow, and I got half the items for the Shell Bell, so we are going to wait for the tide to change to get the other items. So I guess we'll have to grind. We soon get to level 75 while waiting, and stat-wise, well, Seabaker's speed stat finally reached triple digits. That special defense always surprises me. I just keep thinking that it's going to be lower than that. I don't know why, but I think it's weird that we have a low defense and low special attack. On the flip side, we have a high special defense and attack. I keep getting that flipped around in my head, and I hope that doesn't bite us in the butt in these next series of battles. Also, I know that this moveset is a lot to be desired, but we will change accordingly if we need to. Let's just see how far we can get in this current setup. Okay, so starting off with Sydney and his dark types, and it's not going smoothly. I know what you're thinking. Well done, RedyTAY. Rock Smash is a very, very weak fighting move. And you are right, but that's not the only reason this battle is rough. I mean, first off, I quickly resort to using Thunderbolt against Kecleon, and since it is an electric move, it isn't effective against him. But that effective move is still stronger than the super effective Rock Smash we could use against it. The stat debuffs in Leech Seed are spelling a quick in for us in these battles. Mighty's Intimidate is taking our attack down, which again is bad for Rock Smash. In some runs, it just spams Sand Attack and our accuracy was absolutely trashed. It always went down, but then Kecleon becomes a nuisance, which is a first. Well, it also never took us out, but with it using Conspore often and Leech Seed sometimes, we would still be standing, but with lowered attack, speed, accuracy, our health is dwindling each turn. Not even Shell Bell can keep up with all that. So I guess we have to go back to coming up with a better game plan. Well, I don't think grinding needs to be done. We are at a decent level in my opinion. I think it's time to get rid of Rock Smash. I know it should have happened way earlier in this run. So we go back to Mauville, blow more money on buying coins directly so we can get Team 13 Ice Beam. Let's see how it goes with this new move. Mightyena starts the fight by lowering our attack for the umpteenth time in this match. Doesn't really matter though because we take it to deep red health with a Thunderbolt and paralyze it in the process. It responds with a takedown, but the recoil isn't enough for it to faint. Sydney heals Mightyena up with a full restore, and we respond with a faint attack. From there, another Thunderbolt takes Mightyena out. I don't even think the critical hit was necessary. The annoying Cacturn is now out, but this time one Ice Beam is enough to one-shot it. A Thunderbolt does the same thing for Sharpedo. I decide to stick with Thunderbolt when Absol comes out. It takes it down to yellow health, and then heals a little bit more from a Citrus Berry. It soon fainted thanks to another Thunderbolt. All that is left is Shiftry, but just like Cacturn, a single Ice Beam is all that is needed to pull off the win. Well, that went way more smoothly. I only needed Ice Beam twice, and yet it completely opened up the battle to our advantage. Next up is Phoebe and her 5 Ghost types. I don't know if this is going to be a boring fight or not. She was a challenge in my last challenge, but this time we have Feint Attack, and I'm not sure if this is just going to be a battle of me spamming that move or not. Out first for Phoebe was the first Dusclops. We start with Feint Attack, obviously, which brings it down to red health. The thing I hate about these Dusclops is they have the pressure ability, so each time I use an attack like Feint Attack, I'm really using 2 power points instead of 1. This move could be depleted pretty quickly if we're not careful. It sets up a Future Sight and Phoebe heals it with a full restore. We use Feint Attack 2 more times to take it out. As soon as the first Bayonet is out, we take very little damage from the Future Sight left for us. Our Feint Attack takes it down to Sliver. The Bayonet responds with a Spite, removing 4 power points for Feint Attack. Despite that drop, I stick with Feint Attack to take it out. Stabilize now out, and I decide that we should not be using Feint Attack here for multiple reasons. So we switch to using Thunderbolt, which takes it to yellow health, but it responds with using a track. Luckily though, we don't get immobilized in the next turn and knock Sableye out with another Thunderbolt. The second Bayonet comes out, but our Feint Attack is a one-shot. Last out for Phoebe is her second Dusclops. And we try another Feint Attack, but it only takes it to half health. Luckily, Earthquake does less damage to us. The Dusclops then heals back to green health with the Citrus Berry, while our following Feint Attack takes it back down to yellow. We take damage from the Shadow Ball. I thought we'd be in the clear to take Dusclops out, but Phoebe decides to heal it up with a full restore. Our last Feint Attack takes it back to yellow health, so we switch to using Thunderbolt to finish it off. Well, it went smoothly, but it wasn't a 5 Feint Attacks no damage sweep type of battle. Also, looking back, Phoebe could have been really dangerous with that last Dusclops. That thing could have hit Seabaker with Earthquake, changes to Ground type, and then she could have hit us with a super effective Ice Beam. I'm so glad she didn't go down that route. Speaking of Ice, next up is Glacia. Don't have much of a plan for her Glalie, but for the rest of her team, we have Thunderbolt. The first Glalie is out to start the fight, and the Side Beam takes out a little more than a third of its health and damage. It then sets up a Hail, which is going to be annoying. We use another Side Beam, which takes it down to yellow health. Glalie then hits us with an Ice Beam, which is great in our case. Yeah, we take some damage, but now we're an Ice type, so Hail isn't going to do a thing to us. Seabaker does a Thunderbolt to knock this Glalie out, and next up is one of Glacia's Celios. A critical hit Thunderbolt takes it out. Same thing could be said about the next Celio that followed. Walrein is now out, and our Thunderbolt does a lot of damage, but doesn't one-shot it. That's okay, I expected that, and the paralysis is nice too. What isn't nice is I wasn't paying attention, and that was our last Thunderbolt. I forgot to heal up moves before this fight. We soon get hit by Surf, removing our Ice typing and replacing it with Water. Walrein's Citrus Berry heals it back to yellow health, which is a good thing because it means Glacia won't heal it up with a full restore now. I try Side Beam to see how it will do, but it's not strong enough to one-shot it, so now I'm forced to watch Glacia heal Walrein up to full health. But before that happens, we soon get paralyzed thanks to Walrein's Body Slam. We waste a turn due to paralysis and then get struck by a blizzard. We are fortunate to use Side Beam in our next move, but again it's not hitting that hard. We stick with using that move while we keep getting hit by moves like Surf and Body Slam from Walrein. We soon get Walrein back to red health, but we have accrued a lot of damage as well. I was thinking we might be able to deal the finishing blow in this exchange when Glacia heals Walrein up with another full restore. We obviously can't keep this up, and we still go down to Surf. Okay, that's fair, I should have healed up before this fight. We could totally win this battle if we were just in better health. let's give this another go, this time healed up. The first Glalie is out and we are sticking with opening up the battle with Side Beam. It sticks with starting the battle with Hail. Second Side Beam was a critical hit though, so I'll take this start. Moving on from here, we of course take out both Celios with a Thunderbolt each. This time though, instead of sending out Wall Rain after the second Celio, Glacio sends out another Glalie. A Thunderbolt almost takes it to half health.
We get frozen from an Ice Beam right after though, so that isn't good.
While being frozen, we get hit with a Shadow Ball and we are changed to a Ghost type. We soon defrost and take Glalie down to red health from another Thunderbolt. I use Feint Attack hoping that Glacia won't use her full restores here because we still want to save them for Wall Rain, but she does use one, and Thunderbolt doesn't cause the knockout. Okay, back to using Thunderbolt, and we are back to Glalie being in red health, but we are soon also in red health because of being hit with another Shadow Ball and some hail damage. I keep forgetting that we are currently Ghost type, so these Shadow Balls are really adding up. Glalie is then healed up with another full restore, and our next Thunderbolt takes it back to half health. Another one leaves it in a sliver, which is just enough for it to respond with a fatal Shadow Ball. Okay, Glalie with Shadow Ball came so out of left field. I really didn't see that coming as a roadblock. Let's try this again. So again, first Glalie gets hit with a Side Beam and then sets up Hail. Another Side Beam takes it to yellow health, and we are changed to Ice type thanks to its Ice Beam. One more critical hit Side Beam takes it out. Both Celios go down to single Thunderbolts. No surprises there. Wall Rain is now out, and Thunderbolt still hits hard, taking it to the red. It responds with a Surf and heals some from a Citrus Berry. Thanks to that, Glacia doesn't heal it up, so another Thunderbolt gets rid of it. All that is left is a Shadow Ball Glalie. We are sticking with Thunderbolt here, which takes it a little bit past half health. It immediately opens with a Shadow Ball, so now we have to act fast. Well, taking it out with a following Thunderbolt was pretty fast. Why couldn't that happen in the last battle? Anyway, that's more like it. Last for Elite Four's Drake, and I'm not worried about this fight at all thanks to our new move. I wonder what I'm going to spam. It's Ice Beam, if you couldn't figure that out. Because of that move, there really isn't much to report here. Sure, we took some damage from Flamethrower and Sandstorm and Dragon Claw, but we never were in any real danger in this battle. All that is left now for the whole challenge is our fight with Steven.
Ice Beam looks good here too.
But this won't go as smoothly as battling Drake most likely. No way of knowing besides jumping in. Let's do this. Okay, I was wrong. It was actually a really hard battle. We have a firm grasp on a lot of Steven's Pokemon, but Armaldo and Metagross are really wrecking us. Armaldo really hits hard with Ancient Power, and one time it was strong enough to take us out because it had insane luck with 3 Ancient Powers in a row causing stat buffs for all his stats. But yeah, Skarmory goes down easy with Thunderbolt. Armaldo takes some time to take down. Then we have to see how beaten up we get against Credillion and Claydol while we spam Ice Beam. And once we get past them, we are kind of beaten up and have to face Aggron or Metagross, and from there it's spamming Thunderbolt till we go down. I gave this many attempts until I decided that we are not strong enough to win this.
So I took the white out and went through the Elite Four again so that we could face Steven at level 80.
But from here it was a similar story. We're doing better, but don't get me wrong, we are just not strong enough, and I don't know if it is because it's getting late and I had a long day at work, but some of these defeats are just deflating. But I keep going and decide to go through another round of Elite Four. This time when we get to Steven, C. Baker's at level 82. From here we're doing much better against most of Steven's Pokemon. In fact, we had a few really promising attempts. We had one fluke where Credillion basically beat us single-handedly, but for the most part, only Armaldo and Metagross stand in the way of us beating this challenge, but we still just can't pull off the win. I'm going to have to grind to level 85 and see where we go from there. Okay, we are back at level 85, well technically level 86 because we gained another level while fighting in Elite Four. Anyway, we lost in the first attempt, Skarmory goes down to 1 Thunderbolt. Armaldo is taken to a sliver and paralyzed from 2 Thunderbolts, but is soon healed from a full restore and gets 2 stat buffs from Ancient Power, which is all he needs to turn the tide and just demolish us. Seriously, can't believe that thing can pull off the win still despite the level gap. Anyway, that has to be just bad luck. Let's give this another go. Hopefully for the last time, Skarmory goes down to a single Thunderbolt. Armaldo is now out, and we get to half health and paralyze it with a Thunderbolt, just like last time. This time though, it stays paralyzed and another Thunderbolt takes it out. Why couldn't that happen last time? Anyway, we're looking good here considering we're still at full health. Claydol's now out and Ice Beam hits hard, but it still has a sliver left. We take a little damage from an Earthquake, and Claydol gets healed back to full health. And Ice Beam takes it back to red health, and Claydol gets another full restore. Hey, I am totally fine with Steven burning through his full restores like this. We use another Ice Beam, and this time it is strong enough for the one shot. And with our Shell Bell, we are back to full health, so even better. Aggron is out, and Thunderbolt hits pretty hard. It's in yellow health, which is right where I want it to be. Except Steven does surprise me in the fact that he decides to heal Aggron up anyway. We also take some damage from Earthquake, but I'm sure we can still heal up some from this. Another 2 Thunderbolts and Aggron is down, and we are healing up nicely. Credilli also quickly falls in red health as soon as it comes out thanks to Ice Beam. It does scare me a little bit with his Giga Drain considering we are ground type when it hits.
Despite that move being super effective, Credilli is still in the red after the healing.
But don't worry though, because Steven uses what I hope is his last full restore on Credilli. We are sticking with Ice Beam of course, and it leaves Credilli with a sliver health left. I switched to having Seabreaker use Fan Attack to take Credilli out quickly. From here we reach level 87, and we are still looking good health wise for the last Pokemon left, Metagross. Immediately I hit that thing with a Thunderbolt, taking it to half health. Meteor Mash still kinda hits hard at this level. I don't want to take too many of those still. Metagross is soon healed into the green thanks to a Citrus Berry, but another Thunderbolt from Seabreaker is enough to lower its health into the red. Its Responder Earthquake hits us hard enough for us to fall into low yellow health. This is still a very close fight. I stick with Thunderbolt hoping that Steven doesn't heal Metagross, and he doesn't. Thunderbolt is strong enough to take out Metagross, beating Steven and making us the new Pokemon champions. Well, this challenge stayed very consistent in its difficulty. I wouldn't say it was the hardest challenge I did, but I feel like for the majority of the run, I wasn't having a specific rough spot and then a long stretch of easy gameplay. For almost every gym leader or Elite Four member, I had to change things up if I wanted to win.
Really the thing that changed the whole pace and made this run doable was the TM list for Kecleon.
I'm thankful there was a good level of variety here, which makes sense if you were a Pokemon that could be any type in the game. Honestly, I feel like Kecleon's ability hurts it more than it helps it. Especially since it seems the AI was smart enough at times to strategically change our type in one turn, just for it to know that its next move will be super effective against us. I just feel like there wasn't a lot of times where we could use a strategy in changing types in the middle of the battle to our own advantage. But then again, if you think about it, when your type can only change based on the attacks used against you, you're basically at the mercy of your opponent, and there really isn't any strategy there. All that aside, that was still a really fun run, and I hope you guys liked it. Stay tuned, because my next video will be me trying to beat Pokemon Gold with a single Abra. I'm not looking forward to the beginning of it, but I'm sure it'll get better as we progress. Anyway, leave a comment on other suggestions for challenges you think I should try out in the future, and also I would love to hear some creative input. Also, if you like what you see, please either click the like button, the subscribe button, or both. Until next time everybody, Geronimo.